Okay, imagine this. It's 1 a.m. in Texas. Kids, actual children, some just 10 years old, are woken up in government shelters, told to grab their bags and put on planes headed for Guatemala. That's what the Trump administration was about to do. Deport dozens of unaccompanied Guatemalan kids in the middle of the night. But here's the twist. A federal judge literally stopped those planes before they could take off. Yeah, we're talking about a story where the difference between life in America and life in danger abroad came down to one judge and a last-minute ruling. And this isn't just about 10 kids. Advocacy groups say up to 600 children were at risk of being put on flights like that. So let's break this down. On Sunday, Judge Parkle Siknanum, yes, Parkle, which sounds like the name of a unicorn, but trust me, she's very real, issued a temporary restraining order blocking Trump's deportation plan for Guatemalan children. Why? Because lawyers rush into court arguing that these kids would face abuse and persecution if they were sent back. And here's the thing, these aren't kids who snuck in with their families. They're unaccompanied minors. They came here alone. Many are in the middle of immigration cases, and under U.S. law, they're supposed to get protections. But instead of following the process, the Trump administration tried to move them out of the country fast, calling it repatriation and saying it was about family reunification. Sounds nice, right? Except a lot of parents say nobody asked them. Some literally showed up at migrant reception centers in Guatemala City waiting for their children, only to find out the flights had been stopped. One mom, Xiomara Lima, said a 70-year-old son called her at 1 a.m. from Texas saying he was being flown back. She went to the center, waited for him, and then found out, no, the plane never came. This is the chaos families are living through. Now, Trump's team is saying this isn't deportation. We are just reuniting kids with their parents back home. But here's a contradiction. Lawyers for the children say many of these kids are pending asylum cases. Some told U.S. officials they have credible fears of violence if they're sent back. That means under federal law, you can't just put them on a plane. So is this reunification or is it just mass deportation with a friendlier name? And let's not forget, Guatemala is not exactly a safe place for many of these kids. Poverty is crushing, gangs target young people, and the whole reason they left in the first place is often because home isn't safe. So calling it reunification is kind of like saying you're taking a kid out of a burning house and then tossing them back inside because technically the family lives there. Judge Suknanan stepped in at the last second. Advocacy groups filed for an emergency injunction Sunday morning, and by the afternoon, she ordered that not only 10 kids but all unaccompanied children at risk were protected. And she did not mince words. She demanded Trump's lawyers confirm that the planes had already taken off. One official admitted one plane may have taken off, but it returned. Think about that. Kids were already on board. These weren't just plans on paper. This was happening in real time. For at least 14 days, his order blocks deportation. But after that, it's anyone's guess. This is bigger than just one late-night courtroom drama. Since starting his second term, Trump has been doubling down on mass deportations. This was one of his biggest campaign promises, and his base loves it. In June, the Supreme Court even cleared the way for Trump to send migrants to third countries, not just their home country, without giving them the chance to argue they'd be unsafe. So this ruling is basically one judge standing in the way of Trump's entire deportation machine. And the politics are brutal. Stephen Miller, Trump's immigration advisor and the guy who has basically made a career out of engineering anti-immigrant policies, blasted the judge online saying, "These kids all say their parents are in Guatemala, but a Democrat judge won't let them reunite." See what he did there? He reframed it as if the judge is anti-family when really the ruling is about protecting kids from being sent into danger. But that's how the debate is being sold to the public. Forget the politics for a second. Let's look at the kids. One uncle in Guatemala, Gilberto Lopez, said his nephew went to the U.S. because his family was poor and couldn't afford medical care. He literally said he went to help us because we are poor and there is no cure here for our health problems. These are kids risking everything not because it's fun, but because they are desperate. And in the middle of that, the Trump administration tried to quietly fly them back in the dead of night during a holiday weekend, hoping nobody would notice. Except people did notice. Lawyers filed lawsuits, judges intervened, and now the fate of hundreds of children hangs in the balance. So why should you care? Because this case is a window into how U.S. immigration policy really works. It's not some abstract debate about the border or national security. It's little kids being shuffled on and off planes in the middle of the night. And the government can dress it up however they want. Repatriation, family reunification, pilot program. But at the end of the day, the question is simple. Are we protecting children or are we deporting them to danger? This isn't the first time kids have been at the center of Trump's immigration crackdown. Remember the family separation policy. Remember kids in cages. It's the same playbook. Create a deterrent by making the process as harsh as possible. The message is don't come to America, because if you do, we'll send your kids back in the middle of the night. And now it's Guatemalan kids. Tomorrow it could be kids from Honduras, El Salvador, or anywhere else. Immigration policy is not just paperwork, it's life or death. So here's where we are. One judge blocked Trump for now. Families in Guatemala are waiting at airports not knowing if the kids will come home. Kids in Texas shelters are terrified they'll be put on planes again in 2 weeks. At the Trump administration, they're just getting started. The fight over immigration in America isn't abstract anymore. It's happening in real time to real kids with real consequences. So the next time you hear politicians debate border security or illegal immigration, remember this: behind those words are children, scared, alone, and caught in the crossfire of politics. That's the story here.